we will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
Come on, man. I took that around.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me. My name is EJ, and I got my man,
MH.
He is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. And today, man, we're bringing you back inside the locker room, talking about the topics in and around the game. MH, you ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, we are NFL centric, like the Shield runs the sports industry, so it's been a while since we've done that, man. So let's talk about the NFL, man. I mean, we're in week 2, so a lot of momentum coming into the season. So, give me your feels about the season this year.
Best time of year. We can keep it as simple as that. No, it is
100%. It's like almost like a middle Christmas. Like the first day is unwrapping, the season and all the hype and all the stuff that comes before it, right? Because the anticipation all before the season is, people, not just ourselves, but people picking out like what game I'm going to go see this year, if they're going to travel to a game, what games have the matchups, doing the bets with your friends. Because, I have, we're all at heart, Las Vegas Raiders fans, right, here in the city. But, we have, like you and my brother are both Cowboys fans, right? And I don't want to talk about me being a Steelers fan after last week. But no, we get excited about that, right? So it's all that anticipation. And then the fantasy stuff. Are you in any fantasy leagues this year?
I am, man. I participate in a couple. I didn't draft well. At least I haven't started the season off well. I'll put it that way.
What, your auto draft wasn't working for you this year?
Nah, man. I draft teams like I'm playing Madden, so it's not really conducive for a whole lot of success.
Right.
Drafting like that, speed guys and tight ends, it doesn't usually work.
You play
in
like
the fantasy world,
right on the fantasy world, man. You got to be point centric, man, because you could have some. I mean, like, who thought Jameis Winston was going to do what he did the first week of the season?
Certainly not I.
No one thought that. I mean, but I'm glad he did.
Likewise, man. They obviously the city of New Orleans and state of Louisiana has been through a lot, and they didn't even play their game. At least that first week game was a home game. They played it in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And apparently Aaron Rodgers didn't know they were playing that week either. It seemed like he wanted to quit.
Hey,
so.
And his whole demeanor too, like, I don't root against anyone, but just like seeing him get handed to like that after all he's been doing, because like off season was just like the Aaron Rodgers saga, so it was just kind of like, all right, you ready to play? Like, season started now.
I mean, I always start things by you can cut your hair. Start the little dangly that he got the Trevor Lawrence thing.
You don't like the man?
I don't like the Trevor Lawrence hanging out his helmet. He's struggling, but he played well tonight. I mean, we taping this on the Monday night right after the game against the Lions. Seemed like he was back to his normal self. The Lions are chicken noodle soup for a lot of teams, so helped him feel better. So
about it, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't see the coach like biting the kneecaps. What he said, like, we gonna get down and we're gonna bite the kneecap, and before we get up, we'll be the last man standing, and some stuff like that, man.
In his defense, I mean, I don't think Detroit laid down at any point in the game. I think there's a talent gap there, but a couple years we'll see what's going on there in the Motor City.
Yeah, I definitely hope Goff gets, because that kind of sucks. Like you were the king of the ball or whatever. You got the contract, you're in La La Land, and then you get sent to Detroit. Like,
yeah, and the guy that replaces you is doing better than you.
Better.
Everybody's like, oh, this is what the offense would have been like if they had a quarterback.
Like, oh, y'all don't remember we went to the Super Bowl, huh? You just gonna forget that little part, right? Like,
yeah, that's it. We don't remember that.
Cold world. So you mentioned fans too, right? So we didn't know with the bubble world we lived in last year, because COVID is still a thing. I mean, well, people want to act like, it's not around and like, it's a game, but it's still real. I think to see the fans in the stands, like everybody's excited, right? From, just the players, of course, the owners, the money part of it.
Sure.
But it adds an element to the game, man. So I think it's definitely excited to be a part of that and to see that kind of come to fruition.
Yeah, I think that's part of football. How we know it is the spectator, kind of the spectatorship of football and the excitement that the element that fans bring to a game, whether that's, in the sports business world. That's a lot of people eat and feed their families is through those games and those atmosphere. That's how a lot of people get business done.
Absolutely.
Through those games. And honestly, that's how some people play defense as well through those games, the energy, the crowd to kind of help you out. It's a juice and energy, it's electricity that comes from playing football in front of people, especially when they've been out for over a year. I think that's really special this past week, and I guess it continues as, we're kind of welcoming back to football down the road. So it's good on all levels, high school through obviously the NFL.
Yeah, and the part you touched on too, the crowd, right? It helps the defense out. There's been some delayed games and some false starts.
Yeah, they've been playing defense again. Yeah,
absolutely, it's a part of the game.
Yeah.
All right, you did speak on Monday night, man. I was sad that I didn't get a chance to, because our first Monday night, we were both attendants of a game, but I heard about it, man. So Monday night has a little different simulcast, man. They're looking to add a little something to it, man. Walk our listeners through that, and you had a chance to experience some of it tonight.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, the future NFL commissioner, as his Hall of Fame speech entailed. But him and
he's gonna be an owner first. Did you hear the news that Denver wants to sell him part ownership of the team?
I heard Jay-Z was in the running for it. That's what I heard for that ownership. I didn't know it was Peyton Manning was part of that.
Yeah, they want Peyton to be a part of it as well. But continue though.
I don't see that. I think Peyton has some bigger goals in mind. Yeah. I think he wants to be the commissioner.
Say that owning the team, there's bigger aspirations than owning an NFL team. But yeah, I mean, being the boss, well, technically he's not the boss.
He works for the owners, but we get it. His name is signature on the Duke on the football. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was something that he wanted to do. But him and little bro Eli, they have a telecast where, they kind of it's almost like you sit in the couch watching the game with Eli and Peyton, and then they bring different guests on. I think tonight they had Patrick Willis, former linebacker. They had Pat McAfee, the punter. They had Brett Favre. That's the only parts that I really caught. But for football heads or geeks like myself who tend to watch the game on mute most of the time, so I don't really, I think I'm coaching or breaking down something.
Right.
He watches a game. I don't watch it like Peyton. I'm not giving myself that much credit, or him or Eli. But there's some insight to the rhythm of the game that they give. And they just kind of talk about some of the strategy without a lot of the fluff that comes with a normal telecast. I like it. And obviously Peyton Manning, has a kind of a dry sense of humor. And him and his brother kind of, take jabs at each other. So it kind of keeps some kind of entertainment atmosphere to it. It's not, straight like we're in a film room, but there's a lot of elements to that as well. I think it's great. We always, Monday Night Football, since John Gruden went back to coaching, has always been kind of searching for, new ways to engage the listener. They had Booger riding a cart or whatever this thing was.
With them crazy fingers, man.
Yeah, they done did a whole lot. So I think this is a good move. I don't know if they're going to do it all season. I thought it was supposed to be some select games that they were doing that, but it seems like for the first 3 weeks, because they're doing the America's team and the Eagles next week. So it feels like, maybe that's their thing.
Who's America's team? The
Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys are doing it.
All right, so let's
Patriots can't be America's team if their quarterback plays for a different team. It just doesn't happen that way.
Okay, so let's talk about the America's team, quote unquote. All right. Did you watch them at all on Hard Knocks?
That's a good question. I did watch them. And it was meh or whatever. What is that? MEH? What is that sound effect? Yeah.
Yeah, that part.
That's what it was. What you think?
I thought it didn't have the Hard Knocks is usually something about like we're talking about Hard Knocks the next day after we watch an episode. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of that there was no like real moments. I mean,
well, you didn't think the drone into the facility, the Jerry Jones in the helicopter saying, "Circle that joint, circle that stadium one more time."
But that's just boss shit, and we're used to that. I mean, when you do the draft on your yacht in the middle of like the Mediterranean, like you coming on the helicopter is not like something grandiose, and like he's like, well, where is he at? He's like, all right, let's go back and get him. Like you're in a chopper. That's Jerry Jones shit right there. So like that wasn't like a moment, you know what I mean? Another other thing I guess is that bromance that Dak and Zeke had. Like that was a little much. I didn't know that they were.
It's cool. I mean, it's cool to show love to your boy, man. We got to do that more in this world, man.
100%. It's just I don't know. Like, is that authentic? But it seems like it is.
Yeah, I think it's authentic. I mean,
I think Dak is a good dude, like 100%, though. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he seems pretty solid. I was waiting for the moment of like I make a little more money than you. Type, obviously when you sign a contract where you're getting kind of $70 million a year or whatever his deal is, and you're on Team Jordan now and all those type of things that come with being the Cowboys starting quarterback.
Right.
When they showed Dak in the quarterback meeting room, and he was like sitting at I don't know if it was on purpose, but he was sitting like a level over the coach and all the backup quarterbacks.
Camera angles. Those are camera angles, man.
Nah, he was definitely sitting up a little higher. I was like, okay, this is the $1 million man. This is what I wanted to see. There's a couple things that stood out to me about. I've always talked about CeeDee Lamb. I think he's going to be really good. They gave me a little preview on that. I'm a little worried about Jerry Jones's health, only because he put a lot of salt on that McGriddle episode 2 or something. The way he was prepping that.
Hold on, and did you hear him talk about the Whataburger?
Correct.
I love Whataburger. He's like, I don't care if it's in the bag. I got to have the original Whataburger. Like, yo.
I'm a little concerned. Jerry's not a young guy, so I'm a little concerned about the boss man there. And then the last thing was kind of weird, and maybe it's just the day and age that we lived in. I'm kind of old school, so when a rookie comes in, I'm not saying you have to have rookie hazing, but there's levels to this shit. Like Meek Mill said, the fact that Micah Parsons had everybody over, he's playing chess with Dak and he's playing chess with another quarterback. He's playing spades with Dak and Zeke. I'm like, how is Micah Parsons on this level? He just got here. He got to go be a rookie. Ain't nobody else to kick it with. So that's kind of weird to me, but I guess this is day and age.
And they didn't show any of that, like any kind of I don't want to call it hazing because it's a term that's meant to be negative, but the teasing of the rookies.
The rookie show. Yeah.
Like where was the rookie show, right? Like where there was just a lot of stuff that like I think they could have went. Only thing that they did go ham on is your boy, they call him Eric Dickerson. He was wearing the
I'll take that back. There was some rookie hazing.
They was calling him Specs
with my Rex Specs, boy. Yeah.
So that shit was hilarious. But that was like the second to last episode, man. So some news that this seems like they broke. I don't know if they broke it on the show, but I saw that they are going to do Hard Knocks during the season. For the first time. Yeah. So that'll be interesting, right? Because the whole thing you hear about Hard Knocks is does it affect us the team and their how they're preparing, and like it's the distraction, right? That's what we all for football. We don't want distractions when we play. Like in sports, we want to be as routine as possible. From like Dion used to do, laying out your clothes because you got to look good to play good. So we want that routine. So it's going to be interesting. Did they announce a team, or they're just saying that it's going to be in season and team probably be announced later?
Yeah, I think Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts
that they're doing. So
Colts aren't doing too good. Jacoby Brissett is up next. So
well, your boy plays for the Dolphins. He might be in Brissett.
Who's that?
Jacoby. He played for the Dolphins now.
Who's their quarterback then?
Your boy Carson Wentz got 2 ankle sprains. So
yeah, who's that? Exactly.
Eason used to play for Washington, or Hook'em Horn, Sam Ellinger. Hook'em Horn, Texas quarterback. They're not going to be doing well. I mean, Cam Newton's out there. I mean, he might be looking for a place of employment. We can get him set up at Kilroy's down there on Georgia Street, downtown Indy. Naptown.
Well, that means Jacoby's coming to Vegas then this weekend.
Jacoby in his big ass jersey will be in Vegas this weekend.
That's right. So a lot of quarterback injuries. So Dalton down, and that press conference was hilarious, right? He's like, they asked like, so hey, is Dalton the quarterback when he comes back? No comment.
That whole thing is kind of weird. I think it's I think it's some economics to it, but that's just me.
And then Tua, so we just talked about Tua Brissett. Who else? There was someone else I thought that went down. Oh, Carson, we just talked about too. Was there someone else? Oh, Patrick Fitzmagic went down early.
Yeah, he sure did. But kind of routine with him. He gets banged up or plays bad or whatever. So
and Tyrod,
he
was winning the game, man. Like he cannot catch a break, man.
No, he can't. Between him and it all started off, man, that he got his job taken by Baker Mayfield a couple years, but he was playing bad because he had his braids. He had them braids, and they didn't have no hang time. So his head was hurting. When they hit him, he was hitting him in his head. He got concussion that game, so I think. And I don't even know if it was concussion. I just think his head hurt. So ever since then, man, he's had it rough, man. So.
Well, it is that time, man, where where you don't, like you said, get that hang time, man. It's an awkward situation, and then putting a helmet on it.
You can always get one of these, man. You can always get one of these.
One of them customs, huh? So that brings. I mean, we're having so many injuries, and we're talking week 2, and I mean, we could get into the whole freaking Baltimore backfield, right? Like, we got a 17-game season, man. So this is going to be, extra wear and tear on some teams that are going to play into the playoffs and, the extra weeks, man. What are your thoughts about the 17-week season? Excited, cautiously excited? What's your thoughts?
For one, I think it makes it odd just for us, people like us to, in making discussions, because so long we saying, this team's 10-6, this team is 8-8. This odd number of games is kind of like weird. Because
I think we had the issue because I think we did a show, we were talking about like, where they're gonna go, and in your head you're already doing. You're like, wait a minute, like that.
What is 12-5? That sounds ridiculous. So that's a little weird. And they shortened the preseason down, which gave them, I guess, 2 weeks prior to the start of the regular season. Then they still only have 1 bye week. I don't know if that contributes to injuries because, some teams take a cautious approach and they don't play players in the preseason. Other teams play different. And obviously there's a wear and tear of a 17-game season, without another bye week. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be another team in the playoffs, I think, as well this year. So the NFL changing a lot up, and we'll see how it all plays out.
So one of the things is really like pissing me off, right? So there's 2 things in sports, right? And they're both dealing with the referees, okay? So on the college level, because this is our NFL show, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that.
Yeah.
But the college level, the targeting penalty is really messing up the game, and I think it's really bad. And they need to look at how they penalize people for it. I don't think it should be an immediate ejection from the game. The UNLV game, they had one with the one guy, and I was watching Miami game, Bubba from Vegas, strong safety. He got taken out, and it's just like the guy's a runner, and it becomes subjective. So I think that needs to be looked at about maybe like a personal foul, right? Like this is the first personal, blah blah blah. The second one they get ejected and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't. It's immediate ejection, especially with something subjective. So I'm not gonna get into that, but it's all involved with these referees, right? So each year at the NFL meetings, they kind of have a point of emphasis. And this year's point of emphasis, and I don't know if you've caught that, is the taunting foul. And referees are seriously throwing fucking flags for taunting.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting because, like, I'm just a couple of games to see actual referees throw taunting fouls, man. It's fucking up the game, and I don't think it was that bad, right?
No, I agree. I always think, and this is probably wrong for me to say this, but we're in a circle of trust here.
Absolutely.
I think the NFL, the way I want to put this, they call certain things at a certain time of year a little tighter,
and then it's
and then when those leaves start, turning colors, and little Jimmy is going to basketball practice or going to wrestling, or we're all care about the Hallmark and holiday season. They tend to let some other things slide. So I'm interested to see, case study, anybody can take a look, how many time penalties that we have past, I'll say, Halloween, and how many, even in the college level, how many target and ejections that we have, around the Thanksgiving time frame. I'm willing to bet that we have a lot less when some families go do other things.
I mean, and fair is fair. I mean, it's the preseason at the beginning of the season for the refs as well, too, right?
Sure.
So they have those review sessions where they talk about, like, okay, let's look at this. All right, do we want to call this? Is this how we want to call it? And they'll find their groove as well. So that's definitely a good point. Come towards the end of the season, they'll be like, okay, I think people get it. Let's kind of.
Yeah, it's the playoffs, man. Let's go ahead and play.
I don't need you worried about taunting.
I
need you to get some other calls right, man.
Yeah. I wonder, like, on that, does somebody complain? Is this like anonymous emails that they get, like, hey, when somebody scores a touchdown on me, like, please don't let them point in my face. I don't even know why that was a point of contention or area that they felt they needed to address.
That's a great. It's like, how did they come up with, like, because they call it a area of emphasis, right?
Sure.
So they're all sitting in a room like, you know what, man? Ain't shit else I can't stand more than someone laughing at me after they tackle. Like, what I'm saying? It's like, you know what, me too, Bob. Like, how did that come? Or what was it? The suggestion box? Someone put all the shit.
Yeah, anonymous emails.
Emails, right? So it'd be interesting to figure out how the hell they come to the conclusion, like, of all the shit that we're worried about in this amazing game that they put on for us, week in and week out, man. That I love, but part of loving something is to be upset about it, because we care about it. You know what I'm saying? So, but it'd be interesting to see how they come up with that shit.
Well, shit. I mean, going back to what fans in the stadium, here's another, effect of fans. When those games early in last year were, it was empty stadiums, no fans. I'm sure the officials or, whoever was in those buildings, not a lot of people, probably could hear a lot more than they normally could. So it's like, damn, we need to address some of this trash talk. I'm offended out here.
You heard my feelings, man.
I'm actually hearing conversations. We need to address this. So maybe it was an officials thing. Maybe they was just like, I feel uncomfortable. I don't feel safe out here.
I'm nervous. So anything with you, man? Anything that, like, stuck out? It doesn't have to be bad, but just, we're kicking off the season, and we'll definitely spot checks on the NFL, man, because it is, and it's just an exciting time. But anything that you could think about that you want to highlight or talk about, or that you've noticed so far in the season?
Nothing in really particular. I think we kind of touched on it. It's interesting to see the quarterbacks, and particularly the young quarterbacks or the quarterbacks that are, I don't know, kind of flipping and trying to take that mantle, the one that Tom Brady so easily doesn't want to give up. Big Ben is still, for some reason, your boy is sticking around. Have no idea. And we see that Aaron Rodgers going through a midlife crisis with his hair dangling. So I'm interested to how, the torch is passed. Is Patrick Mahomes like really the next in coming that everybody wants us to be? Is it another year for like Lamar, who, by the way, I saw in person for the first time. And I usually don't get geeked about too many pro athletes, but like seeing him play in person, he's by far the most impressive football player I think I've ever seen. Like I'm a fan of Lamar Jackson for however long he's going to play, which I don't think is that long, but I think he is a rare exception. So the quarterbacks this year is kind of what I'm interested in. How does that change? Do we finally get to see the old heads phase out? We see a new wave of quarterbacks. Or do the old heads still stay around a little longer? Who's the one to jump? Is Pat Mahomes really that guy? I'm interested in that.
That's interesting, right? Because if the play of my Steelers continues as such it did this weekend, I don't know. We didn't run the ball enough. I mean, we have this top-notch running back. Give him the pill. We were doing good when he was releasing the ball. You can't be Ben of old like he used to hold the rock and like bully people off of him. Like them days are gone. Maybe once or twice in the game, but we can't like that can't be the go-to every 3 plays, man.
Yeah, I don't know if your boy can throw over 25 yards anymore, like consistently. So,
I'm about to say because he had some overthrows because he was still slinging. He still got a cannon on his.
I don't know if it's a cannon, water gun is more what I was thinking.
A little slingshot.
No disrespect, but
No, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, if Tom Brady wins another one, why would he retire?
I don't know. I mean, they look pretty good.
They look ridiculously good, even though they struggled like that first game against your Cowboys. That was anybody's game.
Yeah, they gave Tom Brady that game with some lack of offensive pass interference calls early in the game. But that's the greatness of Tom Brady. I'm not going to take nothing away from him. He's great. So we'll see, man. We'll see. He'll play to his 50. So we'll see.
How do you think? This is a question I have for you before we wrap it up. Do you think Urban Meyer comes back to coach this season after this season, or you think his
target back to college?
Yeah,
I think Urban Meyer has a migraine that's probably started like right now, and he's just waiting about week 4 or 5 to really say like, "Hey, man, my head hurt. I need to sit down."
And then gonna pop back up at USC.
Yeah, USC. I'll probably, I think something about the California weather. Will do something for his. His back pains or whatever you got to go through in the next 3 or 4 weeks, man. But Jacksonville doesn't look a lot of promising to him, and it's just 2 completely different worlds, man. College and the NFL. You're dealing with men in the NFL, and you're hopefully building men in college. So it's a different world. You're an afterthought, kind of in the pros. In a way, I shouldn't say completely afterthought.
Right.
It's less control, obviously. You're dealing with grown men, and college is a different game. So
whole different ball game. All right, man. You want to say anything about your Cowboys? I mean, last year they got so bad that we had to do a little session just to get it off your chest. You know what I mean? So 1-1. Decent game. The Chargers lost the game this weekend. So what's your thoughts about it, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to just temper my expectations and say they're going to be the division champs.
Oh, that's tempering your expectations?
Yeah. I really think they're a top-notch team in the NFC, but I won't go that far. I'll just say they're going to win the NFC East. And they're going to be pushing for Kellen Moore, who's the offensive coordinator, to be a head coach somewhere very soon.
Jacksonville Jaguar may have an opening.
I mean, they definitely maybe have an opening there. So that's the storylines, and I hope Dak stays healthy and We'll see. Here is the Cowboys thing for all my Cowboys fans. I want you guys to think about this. Maybe tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm looking too far into it. I think as a Cowboys, they have to figure out some identity things, man. This is an identity crisis here. This is to me is the 8th grade year. You know, our 7th and 8th grade year, where one kid is a grown man, another kid is just a little, still a kid. One kid is musty all the time. Another kid hasn't really hit puberty. Okay. The Cowboys are in this weird, identity crisis type of year. You still got Zeke there, right? And Zeke still getting paid, and you kind of like he's still doing this. I haven't seen him do it as much lately. He's nibbling now. I don't even know. He's not. But then,
he's eating sandwiches with the crust cut off of them down.
Correct. But then you've paid Dak Prescott real boy money. Yeah. So you don't want to have your real boy money quarterback just handing the ball off to Zeke. That's a waste of funds, right? That's not fiscally responsible, right? So the identity crisis with the Cowboys, I'm a little concerned, interested about. That's my only concern about the Cowboys. That's why I won't say Super Bowl champions like I want to say. That's why I just leave it at division champs. But we'll see what's going to happen. The 8th grade year, the identity crisis.
Well, I mean, when your second back is your first back, because
whoa,
hey,
whoa. Don't be disrespectful.
I'm just looking at the film. I was this is my eyes told me,
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. It's like an identity. It's I don't know.
And then it's the other thing, right? It's like, okay, let's rest him. It's a 17-week season, right? So, and if he's doing what he needs to do to keep y'all going, but at the end of the day, your division's not the toughest division in football.
That's right. I don't know, man. I got a new boy. The division sucks. But
okay.
I got a new boy that plays New York, boy. My boy Vanilla Vic Cole. I like him.
Really?
Daniel Jones, Vanilla Vic. There's
Vanilla
something about
Vic. That's
that dude.
A new
That dude is an athlete. He's an athlete, man. I like Vanilla Vic.
Times. Okay. Vanilla Vic.
Vanilla Vic. I like him.
All right, man. Well, this won't be the last, man. You got any final words, man, for our listeners getting into the NFL season, man? Things, to kind of watch out for, other than the Cowboys winning division. I can't wait to follow up on this one. But yeah, final thoughts from you, MH.
Save your money. We don't know who's good and who's not yet. So wait till October to start betting all your money away. Just save your money.
There you go. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed the show. We still BSing, man. We need to have this live show, man. I know the people are ready for it. I know a couple people hit us up, so we're going to get that going, man. But just want to thank you to people for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. Always comment, give us feedback, reach out to us. Follow us on all our social media. It's blackinsports on all social media, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel because visual representation matters. And we drop new shows every Thursday, so make sure you check that out and listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. And please stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.